have much information. All we know is that Tal left here with a rifle and a horse for an overnight hunting trip. Mrs. Garrett said he mentioned a cougar track that he came across. That was yesterday?
Yes, at breakfast. But he didn't say where he'd seen them.
And he didn't tell me, which he might have.
Tal didn't log out? That leaves us with no starting point.
Right. We'll split up, men.
Hi. Tal, where have you been? You said you'd be back this morning. We were worried about you.
Really? What for, Mom?
Good question.
We were afraid you might have broken your neck. Or something equally trivial.
Very funny.
You're gonna hit your bunks again, men. I'm sorry to roust you out on a night like this in a false alarm.
Hey, Jim, were you really going out looking for me? Who pushed the panic button? You, Mom?
You've forgotten, Tal. It was in a storm like this that your father lost his life. I'm sorry, Jim. Good night.
Good night, Lucia.
Okay, I can understand Mother, but what's the matter with everyone else? Can a guy go on an all-night cougar hunt without all this hassle?
I'll give you one reason. We've got 10,000 head of sheep to protect. When a big cat is discovered, it's an all-hands job to destroy it. Fast.
You haven't lost a chance to organize your posse, Jim. That cat's still out there somewhere.
Why didn't you log out, Tal? You know the rule.
The rules for the hands.
That rule's for everybody, Tal. You had us worried sick.
If you had been 5 minutes later, a bunch of tired men would be wasting hours in that storm, looking for you.
Okay, I get the picture. Do you have to make a federal case out of it?
And as for that rule, as long as I'm in charge, you'll follow it. Just like the rest, understand?
Yes, sir, Captain, sir. I plead guilty to gross negligence and throw myself on your mercy.
I wouldn't.
Who does he think he's ordering around? Who does he think he is?
You should have logged out, Tal.
I'll leave Mr. Redigo a message. Hog feathers. I'm getting a little tired of his regimentation.
There's a good reason for this blackboard, Tal. A good reason.
A Redigo reason.
Which would be good enough for you as it is for Mother. Why do you think she chose Jim to run this ranch?
Well, because he was Dad's range boss. Because his father was Dad's friend. He's a good man.
There was a lot more to it than that. I don't think you ever really knew how close we came to losing everything that summer. Or how close I came to making a big mistake. One I've never wanted to admit. Or even talk about.
Empire, brought to you by Johnson's Wax, makers of Raid, House and Garden Bug Killer. Raid hunts bugs down like radar and kills them dead.
A happy vacation time, spoiled by painful sunburn. Best first aid you can use is Solar Cane. It acts on skin nerves with benzocaine, ingredient used by doctors. Solar Cane really stops sunburn pain, instantly cools, moisturizes skin. Antiseptic, aids healing. There's nothing like it. Comes in lotion, cream, and convenient spray form. Stop sunburn pain with Solar Cane. And help stop burn of heat rash with Mexana powder. Beat the heat. Beat itching skin misery. Chafe. Hot, tired feet. Mexana speeds medicated relief, as no ordinary talcum can. Its medically approved cornstarch base is far more absorbent, gives better protection against chafe, destroys many harmful skin bacteria too. Beat the heat. with cooling, soothing Mexana.
Connie, just what was that big event in your life you didn't want to talk about?
It was just after Dad was killed. 9 years ago. You were with Grandma, remember?
I remember.
Jim had been away from the ranch for several weeks.
Thank you.
Well, Micah, you the total welcoming delegation?
You expect a brass band, Mr. Redigo?
Well, where's Connie and Tal? They usually meet me here.
Carl's east with his grandfolks. Connie's with her mother. Better get your gear in the truck.
All right, Mike, out with it. What's chewing on you?
Dave Garrett's dead.
Dead?
Drowned in a flash flood 2 weeks ago. Miss Garrett tried every way she knew to reach you. She needed you bad. But I guess you had your personal reasons for dropping out of sight.
Mrs. Garrett, how is she?
They say big trouble always travels in tandem. But for once, the Garretts managed without you, Mr. Range Boss. Had to.
What do you mean? What else is wrong?
Oh, everything's under control now. But if I was you, I'd get right back on that plane and keep right on going.
First, we'll find out what you're talking about, Micah.
Head of prime beef cattle in lime pits just like this one, Mr. Redigo. Thousands of acres of the best Garrett grazing land out of production for the duration of the quarantine. 4, maybe 6 months. That's the other trouble I mentioned.
Foot and mouth. How'd they get it?
From those breeding bulls you shipped down from Manitoba. You better get going. Mr. Mace wants to see you in the boss's office.
Mace? What's he want?
Why don't you find out from him?
Ready to go? Come in. I'll be with you in a moment.
Sit down, won't you? Mike told you about Mr. Garrett's death.
Yes. How's the family taking it?
Well, it's been difficult. Very difficult for them. Mr. Garrett was the dominant force in their lives. In all our lives, I guess. Nobody that was close to him could help leaning on him. When he went, it left quite a vacuum.
Yes, it'll take a big man to fill that chair.
Mr. Redigo, we don't know one another very well, but necessity is going to change that. As you know, in my position with Mr. Garrett, I was occupied mostly with financial and operational matters. A lot of the time in other parts of the state.
You were the ranch's business manager. I think that covers it.
That's right. And as business manager, Mr. Garrett taught me one very important thing. Always to speak my mind out just the way he did, no matter who gets hurt.
If you've got something to say it.
Mr. Garrett's death was an unavoidable tragedy. But the slaughter of almost 1,000 head of prime beef could have been avoided if you had traveled with that breeding stock yourself.
We'd shipped beef from Manitoba before. There was no reason they'd pick up foot and mouth this time.
Fact is, they did. If you'd taken ordinary precautions with their feeding and sanitation.
A good man escorted them. A man who knows his business, Bill Blackburn.
Somebody that happened to be available for hire.
Mr. Garrett suggested Blackburn himself.
Oh? Well, did he also suggest that you disappear for nearly a month?
Yes, he did. He said as long as I was going that far north, I ought to pack into the high country, get a grizzly.
A bear hunt. That's where you were.
I hadn't had a vacation for 3 years. Mr. Garrett knew it.
Well, it's funny. He never said a word to me about it.
No reason why he should. You weren't running the ranch. And as far as I know, you're not in charge now. Or are you?
Well, Mrs. Garrett naturally turned to me for help, particularly since she couldn't reach you.
That doesn't answer my question.
And in light of your negligence, I don't think she's going to want to alter a situation that's running very smoothly now.
Negligence. You're saying that I'm responsible for the death of those cattle?
Who else?
If you can prove that, Mace, I'll do you a favor. I'll move out.
I'm counting on that, Mr. Redigo.
Well, don't. Because I'm going to find out what did happen.
Hello, Jim.
Mrs. Garrett?
You have a good trip?
Mrs. Garrett, I didn't learn about the accident until I got in today. I'm very sorry. He was a great man, and a real friend to me. If there's anything at all that I can do.
You needn't say any more, Jim. I understand. Good to have you back.
When you're ready, there's lots to explain.
We'll have a long talk later. When I've had a chance to cope with all the legal problems.
Sure.
Meanwhile, I hope that you and Mr. Mace will work in the best interest of the ranch.
Mr. Redigo and I have already reached an understanding.
I'm glad. Well, now, if you'll excuse me, Jim, I have to start on these papers.
I understand. Whose gear is this?
Oh, guess I forgot to tell you. Belongs to Leo Heller, the new range boss.
Heller. By whose orders?
Mesa's orders. Someone had to take over. You were having yourself a time. Your stuff is in the bunkhouse with the rest of the hands.
Now I know what a gravedigger feels like at the end of a day.
Lime dust in my lungs.
Look, I've told you to wear a mask, Carlos.
1,000 prime head, buried like so much garbage.
930. You look back at what we had to do and it makes you sick.
Yeah, well, welcome to the wake, stranger.
Yeah. You missed all the fun, Redigo. It was like a prairie dog shoot. We kept dropping beef till we couldn't hold our rifles up. Of course, we couldn't hit them all clean. Carlos here had to finish some of them off with a revolver.
Shut up.
Made your skin crawl to hear some of them poor dumb steers bellow.
I said shut up.
Well, he ought to know what happened. He's responsible, ain't he?
Who discovered the outbreak, Carlos?
Heller and Mace. Listed hooves, nostrils. First on the bulls you shipped and then among the herd in the next graze. I gave him credit. He saw what had to be and he ordered it done. We had them slaughtered and the trenches dug before the vet could get here. It was a hard decision to make, Redigo, but it stopped the infection from spreading to the herd and into the sheep.
Oh, now look, it's all over with. The lineman, the burying, so what do you say we forget it, huh?
I'm forgetting nothing. Mace promised us a bonus and the ranch showed a good year-end profit.
Those bulls were healthy when they left Manitoba.
Well, you'll have a long time to convince us that you weren't responsible, Redigo, now that you've moved in with us.
Not yet, I haven't.
Well, Mr. Redigo, is it beginning to penetrate that your stock has dropped?
Did you find your bunk? You're sitting on it.
We've had our differences, Redigo, but this is one beef that's already settled.
By Mace?
He says I'm range boss now.
When Mrs. Garrett says you've got my job, you can come back. Now, you can go back to your job as stock foreman, Heller, or you can quit. I don't care which.
Maybe it'll be you who quits, Redigo.
We'll see.
And my fellow bugs, if you elect me, your worries are over. You want more food? Yeah! You're going to get it. You want more fun? Yeah! You're going to get it. You want more excitement? Yeah! You're going to get it. Raid's here! Raid!
Yes, Raid, house and garden bug killer for both indoors and outdoors. Raid hunts bugs down like radar. Sweeps flies and mosquitoes from the air. Attacks roaches and ants as they crawl and kills them dead. Raid kills all kinds of bugs indoors. Outdoors, Raid House and Garden Bug Killer wipes out insects that attack your flowering plants. So get Raid. It smells good, but it really kills them dead. Created by Johnson's Wax.
All right, come on, let's get going. Carlos, you pick up the cement. I'll meet you men at check dam number 3.
You put me into the job. Now Redigo says I'm out. What do you say?
You're my choice for the job, Heller. You're just going to have to be a little patient, that's all. Before long, Mrs. Garrett is going to see that the men won't work for Redigo. I'll take care of that. Then he'll either quit or get fired. Either way, your job is secure with me. You have my word on it.
All right. But if I was running things?
Yeah, well, you're not.
morning, darling.
Good morning, Mother. You're up already.
Hours ago.
I brought you breakfast.
Oh, that was sweet of you, dear. But I had breakfast with Mr. Mace over some financial details.
Do you have to go into town again today?
I'm afraid so. We have an important appointment with your father's bankers. We're trying to arrange a loan.
Because of the cattle we lost?
Yes. But now don't you worry about it. Promise?
But I can't help it. Mom, isn't there something I can do? It's awful to feel so useless.
Now, darling.
I never see you anymore since Dad died.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Miss Connie? Something wrong?
No.
Connie! Connie!
Miss Garrett, if you'll excuse me, we should leave. We're running late for our appointment.
All right, I'm ready.
Hey, here you are, Cord.
Hey, you two. Them shovels was made to exercise your lazy backs.
You don't say. I thought they was made to lean on. Is that what you said, Ben?
That's right.
Well, look who's coming. You better get back to work.
Well, Cord, you were elected spokesman. Go tell him.
Looks like things are slowing up around here.
Ready, go? This is dirty, back-breaking work. We don't like it.
Well, we get it done every year to protect against flash floods.
But you can bring in laborers. We hired on as stock hands.
You hired on to work, but you've dogged it all day. I didn't push you, figuring you'd talk out your gripes. But tomorrow you'll sweat till that check dam's repaired. Then you'll patch up the next one and the next one, till they're all in good shape. Understood? Now all of you get moving. Any objections, you can draw your pay. Keep moving.
You ordered this job started?
I did.
The work schedule calls for that yearling herd to be moved down here today. Those upper pastures are fed out, Mr. Ready-Go.
That herd stays put until those check dams are repaired.
We hired on as stock hands, Mr. Mace, not laborers.
All right, you've aired your feelings. I must say I understand your problem. Believe me, Mrs. Garrett appreciates your hard work and your loyalty the last few weeks.
Well, that's fine, but whose orders do we take? Who's boss?
That's a question Mr. Mace and I are about to settle in private.
Could have got me killed doing that.
I doubt it. One thing you do know is how to handle a horse. Running a ranch is something else again.
As of now, I'm ordering those men back on a job that's scheduled for them.
I say they stay until those dams are repaired.
Why don't you give up, man? They're not going to go on taking orders from you.
I may have to knock a few hard heads, but they'll come around.
As long as Ready-Go comes out on top, you don't care what it costs this ranch.
I care. And you know it.
Then get smart, Ready-Go. Quit. Quit before Lucia Garrett gets wise to you.
Big baby, that Apache.
Mrs. Dad.
He was your father's favorite. Why don't you take him for a ride, Miss Connie? The exercise will do him good. Besides, he's always getting in my way when I'm trying to clean up. Always begging for attention.
You too, Apache?
I'll throw a saddle on him while you two decide where you're going.
That's easy, isn't it, boy? Hello, Mr. Mace.
Miss Connie, may I ask you a question? If it had been you instead of your father, how would he have stood the loss? Well, I think it would have been by remembering you as you were. Every look, every gesture that was you, everything good, beautiful that you'd shared together, he would have been able to see you all around him. And that would have been his strength. It should be yours.
I can't.
Yes, you can. Just look out there. This beautiful country is what your father left for you. There's his real monument out there. It's a legacy of strength. It's yours to draw on, Connie.
I can't.
Well, you'll have to. You can go ahead and cry and get it out of your system, but leave your grief here.
What's the matter, Joe?
Come in. Jim, I'm so glad you came in. I'm a little worried about Connie. Micah said she rode off somewhere on her father's horse.
Oh, I'm sure she's all right.
I haven't been much of a companion to her lately. So preoccupied with all of this. But you wanted to see me.
Mrs. Garrett, I wish this could wait.
I know what you're going to say. Mr. Mace told me your position on the slaughtered stock.
Well, that's not why I'm here. But as long as we're on the subject, did he tell you I intend to find out just how they got infected?
You don't have to. The cattle are lost. Nothing can change that. It's all behind us. I don't want any more trouble because of it.
In an operation this size, trouble usually comes to meet you.
What is it now?
Well, Mace wants the crew to round up the yearlings and move them down to the lower pasture. I want the check dams put in shape first.
Jim, can't the check dams wait for a few days?
If those yearlings get caught in a flash flood, we'll be fishing them out of the Gulf of Mexico.
I know. But Mr. Mace says the upper pastures are fed out.
Who's running the ranch, Mrs. Garrett? You or Mace? Who gives the orders?
I do.
All right. What are your orders?
Tell the stock foreman to move the yearlings first thing tomorrow. Jim, I realize you and Mr. Mace dislike each other. Right now, I need you both desperately.
I'll honor that. But things can't go on this way very long.
I know. And I know a ranch this size needs one strong, full-time manager. But who it is to be... Well, Jim, I'm not yet ready to say.
I'll see if I can find Connie. Your mother's been worried, Connie. Where you been?
With Frank. Mr. Mace.
Come on, Connie.
You can see through a millstone, that Mace.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why, Jughead can see that he's figured the easiest way to Dave Garrett's spot is as Mr. Connie Garrett.
How do you keep a wagon train rolling? You need muscle and drive. But most of all, you need the personal strength of a wagon master like Chris Hale.
I have over 300 people on my wagon train. 2/3 of them are women and children. You deny them the protection of a military escort, and the odds are you're condemning them to death.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Wagon Train's greatest season. This year, Wagon Train has grown to 90 minutes of incomparable drama. Here you'll meet the pioneers who charged America with a spirit that's never dwindled. The restless ones who wanted something so bad, they went for broke to get it.
Look, Mike, I hired you. It's my responsibility for the job you do. And an outfit like this, one weak link can cost a lot of lives.
And you'll see new all-star casts. Yes, this is for sure Wagon Train's greatest season. You'll see it every week on ABC.
We will return to Empire after station identification.
Thrill to the awe and mystery of the hidden world, the outer limits.
The whole town must be utterly destroyed. An example must be made.
Stand back.
The outer limits.
Hi.
Hi.
Word the sheep might be infected too?
Just checking.
The telegraph office phoned for you. I wrote down the message. It's from Manitoba.
Read it to me, will you?
Bill Blackburn, vacationing California. Address unknown. Expected back end of month. Sign, Eddington, manager, Manacree Breeding Stock Ranch. I don't see what you expect Blackburn to tell you. He's not going to admit he let those bulls get infected.
Well, I'm not satisfied he did.
Well, they didn't get foot and mouth by osmosis. I never knew anyone so stubborn.
Then how come you're not riding Apache?
Leo Hiller said he went lame. We took him into the vets. This mare's quite a little jumper. Want to see me clear that fence?
No. Connie!
Well, I got it here someplace. Came in this morning. I meant to phone you, but... Oh, here it is.
You inspectors are positive about this?
The railroads can't afford to make mistakes about a thing like this. The cattle car that your stock was shipped in was clean. It had to be. If it wasn't, the next lot that used it would have been contaminated, and they weren't.
Can I borrow this, Clint?
Sure, why not?
Thanks.
That ought to do it. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Doc.
I heard you were back. Go on in and visit with Emma. I won't be long.
This'll just take a minute. It's about that foot and mouth outbreak. I wondered if you could explain this railroad report.
Well, I wouldn't quarrel with it. If the disease was in a state of incubation, your stock might not have contaminated the car they traveled in.
The men tell me that Mace had the herd killed before you could get out to the ranch.
That's right. I was over at the county seat that day. When I got back, his message was waiting. I drove right out, and there he was, directing the mopping up. Startled me for a minute when I saw him riding Dave Garrett's horse. It was half dark, and from a distance, he looked almost like Dave himself. What are you up to, Jim?
Well, I'm trying to fix the responsibility.
Well, that's between you and the Garretts. But I can say this. If Mace hadn't acted fast, every cloven-hoofed animal on the ranch could have been lost.
Yeah, so I've heard. Well, as long as I'm here, I might as well look in on Apache. How is he?
I wouldn't know.
Didn't Heller bring him over?
Nope.
He's not here. He's supposed to have gone lame.
First I've heard of it.
Well, that's very interesting. Thanks, Doc.
Heard a noise.
Stall's empty. Where's Apache?
I don't know.
I think you do. Why the lock?
You got eyes? Why ask me?
All right, then. Who put the lock in the stall? Was it Heller? When he took Apache away? Listen. Heller reported Apache lame. Miss Connie said he was taken to the vet.
Then why sweat me? Heller's the stock foreman.
Because the horse isn't at the vet's and never was. But Doc Conlon did tell me that Mace was riding Apache when the herd was slaughtered.
Why shouldn't he? Horses don't get foot and mouth, only cloven-hoofed animals.
Was anyone else riding in the infected area?
No, they were all on foot or on the bulldozers.
Which trailer did Heller load Apache in?
It ain't here. But there's the truck he hauled the trailer away with.
Wonder where it's been. Buffalo berry.
Ain't many places around that grows. Diablo Canyon for one. Why would Heller take Apache way out there? Why'd he leave the trailer?
Well, if you're up to a long ride, we'll find out.
Sonny, in my day, I spent more time in the saddle than you got years.
Let's get ready.
If this half-baked hunch of yours is right, I'll owe you an apology. But mind, I said if. There it is. The devil's own backyard, good for nothing but bleaching bones.
We'll work our way west.
What's wrong?
Looks like some weather gathering up there.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Come on, let's ride.
About ready to turn tail on this Jericho hunt. No horse. Even brushed out the car tracks.
There must be a water hole around here somewhere. Tell would have made sure of that. Let's follow that wash. There's his tracks. Don't get too near.
Twisted nose, blistered hooves, all the symptoms of foot and mouth, but on a horse. Horses don't get it. Is there anything we can do?
Nothing.
I'll stay with him.
It might be days.
I'll stay. Send me out some grub and a bedroll.
You're a good man, Michael.
New Nestea iced tea mix, tangy flavored and easy to fix. Tangy flavored and easy to fix. New Nestea iced tea mix.
You'll like this, especially when you're so hot you could scream. Now you can cool off fast.
New Nestea iced tea mix, tangy flavored and easy to fix. You open the pack, turn on the tap, add a little ice, it's easy as that. New Nestea iced tea mix, tangy flavored and easy to fix.
Or picnics.
Parties.
And on the beach.
Keep Nestea iced tea mix in reach.
Hey, try the drink with some fun in it. Nestea's new iced tea mix. The sugar and lemon are already mixed in. Tastes different and tangy.
You open the pack, turn on the tap, add a little ice, it's easy as that. Tangy flavored and easy to fix. New Nestea iced tea mix.
Thank you, Mr. Mace. If there's nothing else, Connie and I...
As a matter of fact, there is, Miss Garrett. I've been following the commodity market very closely the last few weeks, especially the beef prices at Kansas City.
I'm sure you've heard my husband say it. All commodity traders are eventually carried out feet first and flat broke.
Well, speculators, yes, but that never stopped Mr. Garrett from taking a calculated risk. For example, I know he'd find a golden opportunity in these storms up north. A chance to get his cattle to market while his competitors in Wyoming and Montana are snowed in. It's a seller's market, Miss Garrett.
Are you certain they're snowed in?
Yes, ma'am. If we can get the cattle to the rail spur at Hempstead and ship them off to Kansas City...
But Hempstead's 65 miles away. Wouldn't it cost more to truck them there than the extra price they'd sell for?
I had it in mind to drive them across the spur.
Across the Rio?
There's less than a foot of water where I want to cross them.
Does Jim Redigo know your plan?
No, he rode off last night. I guess he's on another hunting trip.
I see.
Miss Garrett, I've been looking for a way to recoup our foot and mouth losses. This is it. But only if we act immediately, right now.
Mother, say yes. Can't you see Frank's got it all worked out?
If you're sure the river is safe.
I am.
Then all right. Come along, Connie.
I'll be checking that crossing at about 3 o'clock if you happen to be riding in that direction.
It's a date.
Redigo found the trailer and the horse.
handle Redigo. You just get your crew together, round up every saleable head of cattle on this place. Head 'em out toward the Namby Crossing. Come on. Hot ride, Redigo?
All the way from Devil's backyard.
You could have saved yourself a lot of trouble if you'd have come to me first. I would have told you where Apache was. You look a little disappointed. You think you'd discovered some dark conspiracy?
You got an explanation?
Apache came down sick with what you saw. I think the vets call it vesicular edemattitis.
VS.
VS. Non-fatal and rare in these parts. Symptoms are identical to foot and mouth.
Except that both cloven-hoofed animals and horses can come down with it.
And you know your veterinary medicine.
I learned it in the seat of a saddle.
And you know there's no cure except to isolate the animal, which is what I ordered Heller to do when he told me Apache showed symptoms.
And he told Connie the animal was at the vet's.
VS can get pretty ugly before it runs its course. I didn't want to upset her. I had Heller lock the stall and leave the trailer where you found it.
To keep the infection from spreading?
Just what you would have done, Redigo. Let time and isolation work a cure.
Any idea how Apache became infected in the first place?
Probably picked it up on a deer trail. Connie's been riding many hills.
A nice, neat answer, and I buy it, too. If you hadn't just slaughtered almost 1,000 head of cattle with exactly the same symptoms, you rode Apache into that infected herd, Mace. That's where he picked it up. There never was any foot and mouth.
Don't be ridiculous.
You panicked. You didn't have to destroy one of those animals.
A licensed veterinarian reported an outbreak of foot and mouth to the authorities, remember?
What else could he do? There wasn't a steer left alive when he got here. No possible way to make lab tests for foot and mouth. And you know it.
Well, I suggest you take your accusation to Mrs. Garrett. I got a cattle crossing the check.
They're going to drive that herd across the Rio.
Namby Shallows. It's the shortest route to the Hempstead Spur.
Don't you know that this is flash flood season? That river can rise 10 feet in no time?
You're an alarmist, my friend. We're going to have those cattle across in less than 2 hours. Now, will you please get out of my road?
Mace, before I let you lose another Garrett steer, I'll grab a shotgun and turn that herd right back on you.
Good. I hope you try.
I'll be at the crossing.
How goes it? They're moving well. Those clouds don't look too good. It could be coming down hard up there.
Well, they'll be across within an hour, won't they?
Closer to a half.
Now, what are you worried about? Redigo's our only problem. He's threatening to keep him from crossing. Says he's going to turn him at the river.
He could be right.
I'm taking those cattle to Hempstead. You see they get across.
Right.
Well, I guess we better go get Mr. Redigo out of the road. I wouldn't like to see him get hurt.
If he spills what he knows, we're both out.
If she believes him, which I doubt after I've made a killing for her in a Kansas City beef market.
Oh, you're gonna buy yourself some character, huh?
Come on. You're wasting your time, Redigo.
I think not.
One man with a shotgun's not gonna stop a herd once it gets this far.
Maybe not, but that storm will. A flash flood will be moving down this river, taking everything in front of it. Heller, turn that herd quick.
That herd goes across, Leo. You see to it.
You're a cattleman, Heller. You want to lose the rest of the Garrett stock? I said turn the herd. follow you.
Aye!
No, Connie, no! That's quicksand! Don't move! You're only going deeper. Tie these two ropes together. You be the anchor man. Haul away when I tell you.
Still giving the orders?
Yeah, unless you want to go in there. Hang on to the pommel. All right, mates, haul us out. Get up. Mates, haul it down. Why'd you haul us out, mates? For a second there, you were manager of the ranch.
And you gotta draw the line somewhere. Ready to go, don't you? Goodbye, Connie.
Now, what were you doing out here?
I was riding.
Well, from now on, you leave word where you're going. Let's get out of here.
That storm did a lot of damage, but fortunately no lives were lost. And thanks to Jim, no stock. After the mud and debris were cleared away, this checkout blackboard was installed. 3 guesses whose name went up first.
That was pretty rough on you, sis. Whatever happened to Mace?
We never saw him again. And we never did know for sure whether those cattle had foot and mouth. And I guess it didn't matter, really. I think Jim knew, but he never said. Now, would you care to change your comment?
I'm sorry. Jim. Sal.
You should be.
Where are you going?
I'm taking some of the men after that cougar. Too bad you're so bushed. You could show us exactly where you lost him.
Who says I'm bushed?
Aren't you two forgetting something? The checkout blackboard?
Oh, yeah. Log us out, Miss Jones, and hold all our calls, if you please.
Good luck, man.
Come on, Taggart.
It draws women like a magnet. Menon Skin Bracer, the aftershave lotion with magnetic action. Its enduring aroma draws women like a magnet. Menon Skin Bracer is menthol iced. It cools rather than burns. Menon Skin Bracer.
A man needs a man's deodorant. Menon Spray Deodorant. Now with new fine mist. Dries fast. No drip. No spurts. Menon Spray Deodorant delivers 1, 2, 3 times the antiperspirant power of any other leading men's deodorant. Menon Spray Deodorant with new fine mist. Another good reason why, wherever you find men, you'll find Menon.
We return to Empire and scenes from our next exciting episode.
Here she comes.
Your son is dead, Tibor. You hear me? He's dead. Let us live now and forget.
Feel sorry for Eva. Don't you know? She killed her own child.
I'm taking him away.
You're taking him away? Eva, you put this stuff back, you hear? This is my house. He's my son. Eva! June gave me your son.
Empire has been brought to you by Menon Spray Deodorant with new fine mist. Delivers 3 times the antiperspirant power of any other leading men's deodorant. And by new Nestea Iced Tea Mix. Pre-mixed with sugar and lemon that you just stir and serve. The tangy flavored iced tea.
This has been a Screen Gems film presentation.
Physical fitness is for all girls and all boys. Write for a free booklet to help you evaluate the fitness program in your school.